Welcome everyone to another Radio Free Cybertron review. I'm your host Diecast, and today we have the Voyager Silverbolt from the Combiner Wars series. So as you can see, Silverbolt has some really nice colors on here. Um, a lot of clickety clackety ratchets. Um, you can feel one on his leg going out like that. It's just not making any clickety clack. Um, and this is Silverbolt in his robot mode. And he does have his weapon, which I have it pegged into his arm here because it kind of looks like a shield to me. Um, so as opposed to having it in combined mode for when he's in when he's in Superion, this just plugs in right here. Actually upside down. And that gives him his G1 looking Superion. Um, but he could hold that also if he wanted it to. It's just a little long. So let's go ahead and get this guy into vehicle mode. His vehicle modes, I think this is a great transformer. I really love Silverbolt. I say that up front. I've been playing around with him for about a day now, and he's just excellent, especially when we get into the combined mode. How he transforms into that, I think it's really ingenious. I know a lot of people don't like Silverbolt, but in my opinion, he is great. So let's go ahead and get him into vehicle mode. First thing you're going to do is just flip down his head, rotate that in, and then close that up. Now I hope I can remember doing this because it's been a day or two. We'll go ahead and flip his nose up. I just noticed that nose actually does tilt a little bit. Sorry, that was probably off camera. The nose tilts just a little bit if you want it to. And that is a rubber piece, but it's a hard rubber, or a harder rubber maybe because it's so thick. So we'll come down here to the legs first. We got to flip the feet in, flip that panel out, flip the heel in, and then just flip the foot right in. Actually, I think we can leave that open. Same thing on the other side. Flip that out, rotate the foot in, and we'll leave that panel open. Then what the legs do is they just turn around here, and that panel that we left open is going to fill in the top of the jet back here. Same thing on this side. That top panel fills in the jet. Now that we got the legs done, we can go ahead and bring the hands down, and they kind of slot, or they'll sit right in this groove right here at the leg, and they'll also clip into the wing right there, and you can see the peg hole there on the top of his arm. The arms have a lot of really nice ratchet joints in them too, but you'll know this groove here is where this peg on the arm will slide into. So you know when you get that slid in, it's in the right place, and then you can just bring the wing down and peg that in. Flip up his center tail fin, and there you have Silverbolt in his vehicle mode. And yeah, there is a lot of robot underneath here on his the underside of the jet, but I mean, it's a jet, and there's really not much you can do with it. I don't mind it. It's from the top and from the front, it looks like a really nice jet. Uh, even the gun right here. Looks like you can't plug it. Yeah, you can. You can actually plug the gun in to the underside, and what you can see on the gun right here is that it's got a little molded in wheel on the bottom there to act as his, since he doesn't have landing gear, to kind of act as his front wheel. And you can plug that in like that, and that'll allow him to sit flush onto the ground. There's actually wheels molded in on the back here of him. And then if you want, if you don't like that gun sticking all the way out, you can just, again, unpeg the weapon and just peg that in as an option. So okay, let's go ahead and get this guy into the combine mode, and this is where I know it's going to be I'm going to be a little rusty because I didn't play with it yesterday since it was Christmas and we were running around doing the family thing. So the arms, we're going to untab them from the back. These wings actually come around here, and there's a slot right by this Autobot symbol that actually it'll tab in right into the front section of the jet when you fold that down. Then the arms, you just want to straighten them out, rotate them all the way around, and then bring them up and bring this orange part forward. And you can see here the combining ports. Bring the camera up just a tab. You can see the tabs for the combining ports, and then you just fling the hands around just like on Optimus Prime. There's no way to fold them in because of these ports, but they just rotate around to the back, and that's actually going to be his legs. So that's what I really like, how it all flips around, and his arms become his legs, his head actually flips out of the center here, and that's the next thing we're going to do. The easiest way I found to flip out the head, because I can't grab this to pop this out to get his Superion head out, is I actually open up this where his Silverbolt head is, and kind of get my finger inside there and pop out the head from the backside. Now I can just rotate Silverbolt's head in, and then also we're going to flip this Autobot chest piece down, which kind of, no, that's supposed to flip. Why is that not flipping? Silverbolt's head was in the way on the inside. That just flips around. Now we'll turn him around to the right side, flip his head up, and his head kind of notches in the back of the tail right there, and the antenna flip up, and the chest piece closes and kind of locks in the head and the arms. It locks in pretty much almost the whole upper body of Superion. And then my antenna originally could not go past that point, and what I did is I actually went inside. There's one screw on the back of Superion's head right in the center. I unscrewed that. There's 3 posts, 2 on the bottom, 1 on the top. Had to be really careful it wouldn't pull apart without using a little bit of force. So I got a very thin screwdriver and stuck it in between the head right below the ears to kind of pry it apart. And then I went in there and I took a pocket knife and I shaved down the paint that was actually on the earpieces. The earpieces are actually one piece. And I just shaved off any paint that was on the inside of those ears. And that actually helped. Now my Superion's ears will stand up straight. So now that we have Superion in his combiner mode, let's bring in some of the other guys to connect him real quick to give you an idea what he looks like. And these are just how I had them laying around when I connected them to Optimus Prime. So they may not be the exact locations that you would want, but also one thing I forgot to do was flip these down to reveal the combining ports on the top side for his arms. And Alpha Bravo. As you can see, I was messing around with Prime. So there you have Superion in his robot mode, and wow, he looks really nice. Uh, I know a lot of people say they're going to stick with the third party just because, the third party, they definitely put a lot more into their figures, but they can because of the price. You're getting these deluxe figures for, retail is $16.99 each piece, and the combiner, the center, Voyager is only 25. So right here, you probably have the cost of one limb on a third party figure. I really, really appreciate what Hasbro's done here. I I I I will buy every single combiner, even repaints that they come out with at this price. I mean, I just love combiners. I think everyone pretty much loves combiners, and they did an absolutely fantastic job on this, and I couldn't be happier with Superion. Thanks for watching the review, guys. If you like this review, make sure you go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to us. And make sure you check out the Chosen Prime for all your transforming toy needs.